He tasted like corn nuts. Y'all just missed it. I literally just ate poop. I was trying to show my nails being all cute in my chair, and I don't know how I spun myself out of my chair and my ass was literally on the floor. Embarrassing. I don't know what it is, but I constantly always hear like yelling, even though there's no yelling, especially when I'm in the shower. I think someone's breaking in the house, where I'm like, and I get so scared. Oh, I got nails on. Do you guys see how cute they are? FAMBAM Lily does amazing on the press-ons. Look, the rough housing. I freaking can't stand when they rough house. I'm like super anal. I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm getting more like, don't laugh too loud. Just kidding. But anyways, hey beautiful, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, hi, my name is Alexis Jayda, and I do makeup story times. I do my makeup while I'm doing story times. There you go. And all that good stuff. So yeah, I feel like I'm too far. Okay. Today's notification shout out goes to Melanie Sanchez. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Thank you so much. A while ago, a few of you guys asked me if you can see how many times you have commented on my channel. And I thought it would be fun to like sometimes throw that out there. So Melanie has commented 24 times on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for your support. If you want to be part of the notification squad, all you have to do is just like the video, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below, and your comment can possibly be my next notification shout out. Boom. All right, loves, let me know what you guys are doing. If you guys are cooking, if you guys are working, if you guys are running an errand, if you guys are driving anywhere, let me know what you guys are doing. I would love to know down below. In today's video, this is not sponsored. I do want to play with the new Huda Beauty palettes. She came out with two, and her look I am obsessed with. If you guys don't know, I love doing like gray makeup, but I feel like at times I can look a little too cholalicious. Look how cute this bag is. I'm definitely gonna add it to my bag collection. I did see your guys' comments on doing a bag collection. I promise I will very, very soon, but I think this is gonna be perfect to add in there. I thought it was so cute. So I will be using these palettes today. Everything that I use will always be linked down below. If you guys are ever curious on what I'm wearing, my eyebrows, whatever it might be, everything is always linked down below. All right, loves, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. I am going to give you guys a little recap of what happened last week, just because it has been a good amount of time. My mama is incarcerated. Okay, Tommy has to keep eyes on me, watch me, and I give Tommy a run for her money, even though she's not getting paid. But I am such a pain in the ass. I want to see my boyfriend, so I decide to run, go and try and see him. Tommy catches me and I run into a store, and I literally am in the store for like a good hour playing cat and mouse with Tommy. She is so annoyed with me. She gets me. Okay, she finally gets me in the store, throws something in the back of my head, yells at me, tells me that I got some voodoo doo-doo on me and that she is going to help me break this. She tries to take away my phone. My mom calls during that time because my mom's a bruja también. Tells Tommy to get back my phone, tells me that she's gonna be in there for quite some time. I pretty much better listen to Tommy, ask her like, can I babysit? Because I don't wanna stay at Tommy's. And she's like, I don't want you there, but like do what you want. You know, pretty much. Me and Tommy stay out, we were running some errands. She gets a big gulp and she's spitting in this big gulp. It's her chew tobacco. We go back home. Tommy asks Sugar and Spice some questions. They answer incorrectly. She throws her spit at them. I get called out. She asks me some questions. I act like I'm dumb because she's like, don't play dumb with me. And I was like, I'm gonna play it. She throws it on me and I get drenched in her spit. Me, Sugar, and Spice, we finally have a little good laugh together because we were like, that's crazy. I knock out and I wake up to a phone call. My grandma is screaming at me, asking me, where are they? Where is it? Just screaming on the top of the lungs because my grandma does not know how to communicate. So now we're caught up. Let's continue the story time. So I used to hate when my grandma used to call me and like scream in my ear. Like she was always at a 10. She always thought like if I yell at you, we're just going to respect her because that's how she was raised. And it was so hard because my grandma always preached respect, 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 but my grandma never gave it. Like never. My grandma would think that she could just walk into a room and she was just going to have respect because she's an elder and because she has this crazy tone and she just thinks that she just deserves it. So at a very young age, me and my grandma, we had like a really strong bond, but that bond started to deteriorate when the situation with my stepfather happened, and I just seen how she just was as a person. It was really hard to respect her. It was really, really hard. So she's popping off, yelling in my ear, telling me if I'm stupid, that do I not hear the questions that she's asking me. I hang up because my mom on the phone had told me, don't tell your grandma anything. So I was like, I'm not gonna tell her nothing, especially because like she always talks with this tone of voice and I cannot stand it, y'all. Like I can't. It just like wakes up the demon inside of me and infuriates me. I don't know what it is. Like I don't have no problem showing respect, but it's just the way that my grandma just talked that would just set me off at times. Like for real, it really had me feeling some way. So I hang up on her and I already know that I'm gonna get a call back to back to back to back because my grandma does not take that lightly. Like she's like, I don't know who you think you is, but you is not going to just hang up on me. So sure enough, she's just calling back to back to back to back. I finally answer it and she's like, why the f did you hang up on me? I was like, my phone died. In the most like calmest voice I could give. And she's like, you're a liar. You hung up on me. And I'm telling her, she doesn't even give me a chance to talk, that she just wants to argue. That I don't want to argue with her, that I will talk to her, but I don't do it. Like, don't argue with me. We can talk. I don't want to fight. What's going on? What are you even yelling at me about? She's still pissed off. No, you think it's okay? You think you can just hang up on me? You have no respect. And just still is like pissed off about it. So I just let her go off, put the phone down, and I'm just like, all right, like you can just continue to fight with yourself because I'm not going to listen. So I just continue to let her. And then when I stop hearing the, I put the phone to my ear. I'm like, hello? I'm like, are you done? And I know that pisses her off even more because she tells me when she sees me that she is going to slap the living out of me. And I just have to keep telling her that I can't understand what she's saying if she's just going to keep yelling at me, that I don't know why she is so pissed off. Like, I don't know what she's calling about. She's like, you know exactly why I'm calling. I'm like, I don't. I can't read your mind. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know why you're upset. And she's like, well, you tell me. You tell me. I was like, I'm not going to tell you nothing, Grandma. Like, I don't understand why you're going off. She tells me that, where is it? I'm like, where's what? She's like, you know what I'm talking about. I was like, no, I don't. She's like, where is it, Alexis? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. She keeps telling me, you know where it's at. I'm like, I don't. She tells me that a no name is going to press charges on me if I don't tell her where it's at. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That some items were taken from the house. That where were they? I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what was taken. I don't know what you're talking about. She tells me that Barbara said I took some stuff from the place, which is a damn lie. So I get a little irritated. Of course I'm gonna get irritated with Barbara because it's just like, you are a damn lie. You know damn well I did not touch anything at all. I was fighting with you. You're a liar. So I keep telling her like, that's a lie, that's a lie. And she tells me that she doesn't believe me. And I'm like, well, that's unfortunate because I didn't grab anything. Like, I've always told you guys I never wanted to grab anything of his because I never wanted that like bad juju. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't grab anything. She's like yelling like psychotically in my ear that she knows I did. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you weren't there. Can you please stop acting like you were there and you know? She goes, I know you. I'm like, no, you don't. Which is like really crappy because it's like, I didn't do this and she's over here screaming. And it makes me mad because I'm like, who was around you? Who heard you speak to me like this? Because that is insane that you would just be so confident in something that you have no idea. And like, the thing is like crazy that you wouldn't even give me like the benefit of the doubt. You're just so quick to be like, nope, nope, nope. Like, that's so nasty. Like, what the hell? Like, your daughter's the one who steals, not me. Like, why would you even think that? Like, that's crazy. So I start getting annoyed with her and I'm like, okay, well, since you know everything, then do what you gotta do. She tells me just to get the stuff back and I'm like, I don't have it. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have it. And she keeps telling me that she knows that I have it, to give it back, and she's going to tell him where to meet me. I'm like, no, you're not, because I don't know what was took. I don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone. So she keeps arguing with me, telling me that I did it, And I'm like, no, I didn't. So she's screaming at me. She's telling me that I'm just like my mother. And I'm like, why are you going so hard for this piece of shit? Why are you going so hard for him? Like, that is so crazy. Like, something's wrong with you. So I start getting mad because I'm like, let's say I did, okay? Let's say that I did do it. Why would you be calling me, screaming at me like this? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you even tell him, like, oh yeah, like, I think that she would let me call her? Like, why are you always on the wrong side? Like, I don't understand. And then I always wanted to excuse her and give her the benefit of the doubt because of like how she was raised, her childhood, yada yada yada. But no, like, that does not excuse someone to be a person. Like, just because you were treated like shit does not mean that the next generation should be treated like shit, because now you want to be the bully. Now you're like, oh, it's my turn. That's gross. That's disgusting. Like, you need to grow up and mature from that, because if that's the mentality you have, then don't have kids. That's gross. That's gross. Like, it's gross. It's not fair that we have to be picked on because you were picked on, or we have to let things slide because no one spoke up for you. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. And it sucks, y'all, because for the longest I would excuse my grandma's behavior. For the longest. And I was like, she's just misunderstood. She's just so brainwashed. But I started noticing how she would pick and choose how she would act with certain people, and I was like, I can't. So she continues to yell at me. She's like, I'm telling you, screaming psychotically. Like, it's just her voice is going as she's screaming at me, and I'm just like pissed off, and I want to be nasty with her. What the hell is like wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why does it even matter what was taken? Why do you have to be over here like Captain Save a Predator? You know what I mean? Like, what? So confused. So I start getting loud, start getting like really disrespectful with her, and Tommy comes to the room. She asks me who I'm talking to, and I tell her like my grandma. She grabs the phone, she starts talking to my grandma, and she starts saying that stuff, and then she finally gives me back the phone. I'm like, hello. And then my grandma just hangs up on me. Cool, whatever. I get cleaned up. Oh, no! Look at that. Oh. I get up and I start talking to Tommy, and I'm like, what did you tell her? She tells me don't worry about it, that she took care of it, and not to be talking to my grandma like that. And I'm like, Tommy, she's like, I'm not gonna repeat myself. I'm like, I don't care. Repeat yourself all you want. I don't give a. I'm so tired of everyone talking to me crazy. So I have a little moment with Tommy, and she's like telling me that I just need to respect my elder, that I don't know what she's gone through. And I'm like, I do know what she's gone through. That's the thing. I don't know why she continues to be this miserable person. And she just tells me that he's probably in her ear threatening her, so my grandma's just acting out of fear. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. We're always constantly tiptoeing around him. I don't care. Tommy tells me that the situation is just complicated, that when I get a husband that I'll understand. I was like, stop. I hate how you guys make it seem that the husband's before the kids. Like, that is so stupid to me. Please shut the fuck up. And I run to the room because I was so scared that I told her to shut the, that she was gonna shut me up. You know what I'm saying? I go to the room, I cry for a little bit, but not out of like hurt, just like out of anger. Cause I'm like, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Like, am I the crazy one? Like, am I crazy? Because they constantly had me feeling like my grandma was right, and she wasn't. Like, Lex was not crazy. She was just surrounded with a bunch of people who just were damaged as well, and just were so brainwashed into thinking that this behavior that my grandma did was okay, and it was not. So time passes by, and I get a call from no name. I answer it because I wanted to tell him the F off, because who are you to call my grandma and accuse me of something that you don't even know? Like, who are you? And like I've always told you guys, like, I really hated how he did so much damage, and he was still treated, and still to this day, invited. He goes around, he borrows my grandma's car. Like, crazy to me. Like, crazy how much this dude has like not suffered. Nothing. I don't even know what to say. So anyways, I answer and I'm like, hello, with attitudes, my little brother, and they're asking me that if I'm okay and checking up on me that if I'm okay, because they heard their dad screaming at my grandma, and so they wanted to know if I'm okay, and that they're sneaking the phone. I'm like, yes, I'm fine. Like, don't worry about me. I'm okay. They asked me if I know when mom's gonna get out, and I tell them, like, it's gonna be a minute. And they're like, okay, bye. They hang up. So I kind of had to like check myself in that moment, because I was so angry that I was just gonna go off and just be so nasty and foul, you know? So Tommy comes back in the room. She asks me if I'm gonna do anything, if I have any plans to go anywhere, and I tell her no, that like I'm just going to just be here. I don't know what to do. She says, okay, cool, you can come with me. Just to get ready. I start getting ready, and I get another call from no name. I answer it, and I'm like, my tone is calm because I'm thinking like, oh, it's my brothers again. They snuck the phone, right? And I answer, I'm like, hello, like all like thinking it's my little brother. And it is this piece of garbage, and he is going off, where is it, in Spanish. And so I'm like, where is what? I'm like, don't on my phone, screaming. He's like, where is it? I'm gonna press charges. And I was like, wow, the nerve of you to threaten me about pressing charges when you are out roaming this world freely, bitch. So I start screaming at him. We're screaming at each other. He's telling me that he's already apologized. And I tell him, like, you don't know that trigger warning, I will be talking about my SA from here on out. I know y'all say it's not my responsibility for others' triggers, but I do like to mention when I speak about a sensitive topic. So please proceed with caution. I love you guys, and thank you for being here and allowing me to share my story. Like, you don't know that I can go as far as back as when we were in Mexico, and how you would literally be sleeping in my mom's bed, and then at night you would come into my bed between my brothers. You would move my brothers out of the way to get to me. He gets silent. I was like, yeah. You think I don't remember that? Thank God I can't remember even when I was younger, because you probably have been doing it since I was younger, and I just can't because y'all, there is this memory that I have. It's a dream, and I don't know if I've talked to you guys about it before or not, because it's something very like personal. There's this memory I have. It's like a dream. Okay, I'm walking into like this mechanic place, like body shop, okay, in this dream. And in this dream there's petals that are, it's like a daisy, or it's like a sunflower. I can't remember because I haven't had the dream in a long minute, but I have it every so often. Petals are being plucked from this flower, okay? And I'm walking into this body shop with this person. I don't know who it is, but it's like a dark figure, and we're going to fix my car Jeep, okay? I know, crazy, like what the hell? And I just have like this scary, eerie feeling with this person. Like, I don't feel safe. It is the scariest dreams that I have ever had. Like, it gives me this very uncomfortable feeling, but I can see myself, like I'm being walked, and I look super tiny, okay? I look really tiny, and I'm walking with this person, and I see that there's cars that are up, that are being fixed, and I see my Jeep, and then it just switches to this part where like these petals are being plucked, and then I wake up. I am so tempted to pay someone to like hypnotize me to unlock that dream, that memory, whatever the it might be. But I seriously have it every so often when like something bad happens, or I get triggered in a way. I haven't had it in years, and I hope I don't have it again, because it literally, I wake up cold sweat. And I always used to think like, oh, maybe that's crazy, maybe that's just like a really bad dream. And I asked my mom, like, has anything ever happened? But I don't think my mom would tell me, because like, what if something bad did happen and she just doesn't want me to lock the memory? I've always felt like maybe that was like the first time something bad has happened with him, and my mind just protected itself, and it won't let me go any further, you know what I mean? Because there's times where like I'll have like flashbacks of like different things, and I'm like, oh, like I it's just like, I don't know, like if you've ever been roofied, I've been roofied before, and when you have like the memories come back, it's just like literally just like little like glimpses here, glimpses, and it's just like you can't put it all together. And I'm so tempted to get hypnotized so that I can unlock it, to see if it is just a scary dream, or if it was like the first time that it had happened. Because what if the time in Mexico wasn't the first time? Maybe it was just like the first time I got like my conscience in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because he was too comfortable moving my siblings out of the way. Do you know what I mean? Like too comfortable. So as I'm like screaming that, yelling at him, he like gets quiet. And so I tell him like, yeah, I know. You're a nasty son of a bitch. I know. Just like telling him. And he tells me that he just wants his stuff back. That he doesn't want any problems all of a sudden, bitch. Doesn't want any problems. That he just wants his stuff back. And that if I want, I can give it to my grandma for him to give it to me. I'm like, what don't you understand? I don't have your shit. Why would I want to even take anything of yours? Why would I want to hold anything of yours? I am disgusted to look at you, to smell you, anything. Got it? Like, I don't have it. And he keeps telling me that he knows because Barbara said that she's seen me. And so I start getting mad at him. And I'm like, I don't know why Barbara is telling lies, but she did not see me grab anything. Because Barbara didn't. Barbara's a little fake bitch. She did not see me grab anything. She is just talking to talk. And I'm like, I did not grab anything. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I hang up on him. This man has the nerve to call me back again. I know you already said, but I just want my stuff. I was like, ya te dije que I don't have it. Stop calling me. With Tommy, and we're just like running some of her errands. Tells me next time not to even answer it, even if I think it's my brother's. Because who knows what he is telling the police officers. And she's like, and you didn't take anything, so I don't know why he's saying anything. That she just grabbed some of my mom's clothes and that was that. And I was like, yeah, so like I don't know why he's like on me about it. So then more time passes by and I get a call and it's from my grandma. Instead of her learning from the first time of like, okay, I'm not gonna yell because obviously that doesn't get anywhere. Nope. She is screaming on the top of her lungs that how hard is it for me to understand that he needs his stuff back. I'm like, I don't have it. Click. I don't want to deal with it. I'm like, like, you got me so messed up. Tommy tells me to pretty much show grace to my grandma because she's put in a sticky situation and who knows what he's telling her. He's probably scaring her. She's an elder. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. I just don't. Like, there's nothing that you can be like, oh, and I'll be like, oh yeah, like my poor grandma, that's why she's like screaming at me. Like, oh my God, I understand. No, no, not at all. It was wild to me when they constantly tried to excuse the behavior. And it's like, why are you calling me defending him? I don't want to hear it. It's too much. So I asked Tommy, like, what the f is it that like they are crying about? She's like, I don't know, couldn't tell you because I just took your mom's stuff. And I was like, crazy. We are still out. My mom ends up calling me, asking me like for an update, what's going on. I tell her how my grandma's freaking wild and pretty much calling me and yelling at me about my stepdad's stuff. My mom is like, just ignore her, Jade. And I tell her like, I can't. Like, the way that she is, like, it literally makes me want to like lose my cool. Like, I don't know what is up with her. I don't know what is wrong with her. Like, I can't. Like, it infuriates me. My mom tells me that she's gonna call my grandma and kind of just explain the situation to her a little bit better, just to ignore her. That's her mom, that's her mom. So I start getting mad with my mom because I'm like, I don't care if that's your mom. I don't care. Like, the way your mom talks isn't okay. So me and my mom start kind of like arguing. She tells me that just because I know that she's going to be in there a lot longer than they anticipated does not mean that I get to get crazy with her. I was like, I didn't even know. Like, Tommy hasn't even filled me in that you were going to be in there longer. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this should just like show you like how tired I am of the whole situation. So my mom tells me just to like shut up and to talk to her, right? Because she's not going to be having it and she could tell Tommy to drop me off. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So she's driving me about dropping me off to that place. I'm just like over it. I don't know what I'm doing with this look. It took a turn and I'm not liking it. So as I'm fighting my mom, Tommy's screaming at me to not talk to my mom like that. I'm screaming at her, and it was just so exhausting, you guys. It was so exhausting where I'm just like, I know I am not crazy. Like, I know this whole situation, not okay. Like, my mom wanted me to be understanding of my grandma getting crazy with me because that's her mom and she means well. She's just frustrated and he's probably yelling at her. And I'm like, okay, well, what about me getting yelled at? What about me? Like, holy crap. I have to always make sure everyone's feelings are good. It was just so stupid. And then the whole threatening me of like, well, I'm gonna take you back. Like, oh my God. As this is all happening, I'm messaging Sam here and there, and I'm like asking her if I can just like go hang out for a few hours, kind of try to work my way back in with the Peaches. She tells me that, yeah, that would be fine, that she's going to ask Mr. Peach if I can come over maybe tomorrow since it's already getting late. I miss the kids because I do. I really do. I would text Sam and she would give me updates on the babies. They would call me here and there and we would talk, and I did miss the babies. Me and Tommy end up staying out really, really late. We go back home and she has kind of like a little like party. I do not like this makeup. And she ends up inviting some people that I've seen before, I know. And it's just like, it's all fun. It's like not a big deal. I'm not weirded out or anything like that. Sugar and Spice are there. We're still having our little laughs about what happened to the day prior, and it's all fun. I ended up drinking a little bit with Tommy, but she cut it short once I started like slurring my words. And you know how you ever been intoxicated where like you even know like, okay, yeah, like that's too much. I start getting like really like, my social anxiety disappears. I always wish I could just be like that without having to get drunk. Like, I wish I just had that level of confidence that I have when I'm intoxicated. So she takes the beer from me and she tells me like, yeah, no more. So I'm just chilling with her. So the night ended well. Hung out with some people that I was mutuals with other people, and it was all cool and dandy. I remember waking up and me just having like this pounding freaking headache. And I remember telling Tommy like, why do people drink as much as they do if this is how they wake up the next day? Like, oh my gosh. She tells me that I shouldn't even be having freaking hangovers like that, that I probably drink way too much. It was too much. So I text Sam. I'm like, hey, you think I'm gonna be able to come over today? She's like, probably not. I'm gonna try to shoot for next week. I end up messaging the Peaches myself and I tell him like, is there a way I can come over? He says that he's still working on Mrs. Peach, that she's just really hurt about the whole situation and about me being gone, messing with the kids' emotions. And I'm like, I totally get it. So since I didn't have anything to do, Tommy and I were like, let's get drunk again. Let's just have this time and pretty much just like live it up. So we have another get together. I say we, but in reality it's her, because it's her money, her stuff, what she's doing. Okay, we're gonna name this guy Bob. He was really super friendly the night before, and I had to tell him like, oh, I have a boyfriend, I'm a baby, you know, pretty much telling him because he was already 18. And he was like, oh, like, it's not even like that, like, I'm just looking out, don't flatter yourself. And I kind of felt dumb because I was like, oh, maybe I read the room wrong. No, I did not. Bob was already there because he had knocked out. And so he hears me and Tommy talking, and he's like, oh yeah, hell yeah, round two. Just like, you know, like, oh, this should be fun. She's like, yeah, you can if you're willing to pitch in. He's like, all right, cool. That he's just gonna go home, clean up a little bit, and that he'll be back. She's like, cool. Didn't think anything of it. Bob's talking about his girlfriend and that he's gonna have her come too. Cool, all dandy. The night goes on. Okay, we are having like a normal sort of crackheaded day. I say normal because it's like probably not normal, but it's just normal to me. Cleaning up, making sure that the space is clean, running errands with Tommy, you know, that sort of thing. It looks like everything's going good. I get a message and it's the ex, and he tells me like if we can talk. I tell him sure. He tells me if Tommy's around. I said yes, she is. And he's like, okay, well, don't tell her I'm messaging you. I'm like, okay, I won't. What's up? He tells me that this mutual told him that I was like, oh, real nice yesterday, and that it sucks that we broke up. And I guess he told him like we didn't break up. But I guess Tommy was going around telling people, because I kept saying like, oh no, I got a boyfriend. She's like, no, she doesn't. And I was like, oh, well, I wasn't aware of that. Like, I can't control other people actions. Like, I can't control what she was saying. He's like, oh, well, I hope you know that, like, I do care about you and I do love you and I wouldn't let anyone come in between us. So he was like talking a really good game, right? So I was like, okay. I thought you said, oh my gosh, I keep like digging my nails and stuff. I'm like, I thought you said you didn't want to be with me, that it was too much, all this, whatever. He's like, I was just saying it out of anger, I don't mean that, yada 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 yada. Okay, cool. He asks me what I'm gonna do tonight, and I tell him that Tommy is going to have another get together and that I can't go anywhere. I didn't ask Tommy, but I was like, this is fun. This is fun. I didn't get hurt. No one, you know, touched me inappropriately. It was a good, grand time for me. I was like, heck yeah. Like, I got to drink and I was safe. Heck yeah. Like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't have to sit on the toilet for hours because I am hurting. Like, I don't want to go anywhere. So I tell him, like, I can't go anywhere, especially with you. I'm not supposed to even be talking to you. He's like, yeah. No, I get that. Well, I hope you have fun tonight. And he don't really care if I'm having fun tonight. Me and Tommy were talking. She's like, you know, kind of having a good moment with me. We're having a good moment together. Sometimes when things go good, just leave it at that. Don't continue to roll the dice. I swear, like, this has to go with like even vacationing with friends. Like, don't overdo the amount of time that you already had planned. Like, don't just because, just leave it on a good note. I feel like we should have just left it on a good freaking note. So the night comes, we already got all the stuff, right? Bob comes in and I'm like, oh, where's your girlfriend? Because he kept talking about this girl. She was so beautiful. She was so this. And he's like, the way he would talk about her was like, in a way, it seemed like he was trying to get somebody jealous. But I was like, maybe he's just like really into her. Like, maybe he's just really, really into her. He says she's not going to be here until later on. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I cannot wait to meet her. Tells me like, oh, yeah. Like, I'll introduce you guys. You guys probably would be really good friends. Cool. The night is going well. Okay, everyone's just talking, everyone's just bull, all that sugar and spice. I hate that I always wanted to get to like the buzz stage and like stay at that stage. So I thought I had to continue to like drink to stay at that stage. Once you're at that stage, stop drinking. Don't even underage drink. It's not worth it. It's not, your brain is not fully developed yet. Okay, so my little stupid little kid brain, I thought, okay, I want to stay in this kind of like buzz feeling. I gotta keep drinking to stay here, because what if it goes away? Tommy keeps checking up on me. You good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Even though in my brain I am already like, no, you need to go to bed. I'm already starting to feel like a little bit dizzy. You need to go to bed. Like, you need to chill. You need to go to bed. I feel like as soon as I start having conversations and I'm already like trying to like swallow because I'm trying not to throw up, you need to drink water. So I try to get some bread and I'm like talking to like everybody who's like right there, and I'm like getting into conversations. Like, I'm a social butterfly. I'm like, yup, this is how I really am. Like, I'm really cool. You guys just did not know it yet. Shut up. So again, I'm literally trying to swallow my spit, and I swear, when you're like super intoxicated, it's really hard to drink water. I don't know why. Like, your body just like does not want it. It's stupid. Like, how the hell does alcohol taste better than water at the time when you are super intoxicated? It does not make any sense. Put 3 shots in front of me, boom, 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 but put water, I'm like taking forever to swallow it. Makes no sense. So Bob is getting closer and he's like talking. We're kind of like, you know, ha ha ha, laughing. And he keeps telling me like, oh man, I wish like we were the same age. I wish I would have met you when I was younger. You were younger? I was a baby. Everyone starts laughing because they think that's like so funny. Like, he's coming off really, really strong. And he's like, you know what I mean? Oh, you're so funny. But I knew that I made him feel stupid because the face will tell you when someone feels stupid. His face, he felt stupid. But I feel like it sucks a lot of the times when you are a woman, you have to babysit men's feelings sometimes. Because if you don't babysit their feelings, then you have to be careful because men will hurt you. He says that and I'm like, oh, you know, I see his face feel stupid, and I kind of like my flags inside go up. So I make my way to Tommy and I'm like, I think I made Bobby feel stupid. And she's like, well, he is stupid. What did he say? And I kind of explain the situation to her. She kind of laughs. She tells me like to stay close to her, that it's no big deal, that I'm probably just reading too much into it. So I'm like, okay. Bobby comes and sits right next to us and he was like, where'd you go? And I'm like, oh no, I'm just right here chilling next to Tommy. Like I feel like I had a little bit too much to drink. And he's like, oh no, let me make you a drink that will, you know, in the morning you'll wake up, like you'll feel so refreshed. And so I kind of just look at him, I'm like, where's your girlfriend? Like, where's your girlfriend? You said you had your girlfriend and she was gonna come. Like, where's your girlfriend? And I remember talking to him and telling him like, where's your girlfriend? But I remember like my jaw so like feeling like I could not control it. And he kind of like just like laughs and kind of like tries to like go like this, and I'm like, maybe my jaw's broken and he's trying to grab it. So I'm like, don't touch me. So I tell him not to touch me. When I say don't touch me, Tommy's ears perk up, I guess. She turns around, she's like, don't fucking touch her, don't touch her. He feels really stupid and he's like, oh, like I didn't mean no disrespect, I'm sorry, puts his hands up right away, walks away. Tommy asks me if I'm good, maybe we should call it a night and I can just like go to her room. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I think so. I make my way over to her room. Sugar and Spice go in there with me a little bit. They literally tuck me in because I'm telling you guys, I'm like super peda, okay? Drunk. I feel like I didn't drink enough water, so I keep telling them like, I need more water, I need bread. They start laughing and they're like, okay, we'll get that for you, I'm like, no, like I need it. Sugar and Spice are like, okay, we'll get it after we're done smoking our thing. And I'm like, okay, but like I need it. Like I keep telling them like, no, like I need it. And they're like, I hear you, we'll get it. So I'm like in the room, they put a show on and I'm not really like into the show. So I'm like on my phone, messaging, texting, talking to Sam, telling her that like hopefully, you know, I'll be able to go this week. And I've been, you know, just having so much fun. Like I don't know what's going on with Tommy, but like she's like letting me have a good grand time and just like pretty much just filling her in what's going on. So I'm sitting there and I'm still feeling like I'm not fully functional. Like I still feel like I'm very like, so imagine like someone just spinning you around and you're just trying to like make everything make sense. Your mouth is watery, you're just drunk. If you've ever been drunk, that's how I just felt, like super intoxicated. And I was like trying to like remain calm because I was like, the more I am like chill, then everything else will be like chill, like just chill out, you know? I keep like waiting for them to bring me the water. I'm like, okay, I don't know when the water's coming. I hear Bobby saying, where is it again? Where is it? Oh, all right. I'll only be a few. I already knew that he was gonna come into the room, and I felt like he was going to use the excuse of like, oh, I thought this was a restroom. Like I already felt that. Like I already felt it in my bones. I already like everything registered, and I'm like looking around, like what can I grab? What can I use? Like if I just grab my phone and I hold it, I'm just like I'm just thinking of so many things. And then I'm like squeezing my phone. I'm like, I don't even really feel like I'm strong. Like I feel really weak right now. Like I'm feeling like so many things. I text Tommy and I'm like texting her like to come here because I already feel Bobby getting closer and closer and closer to the door. I can hear him. I feel like he's trying to play it off by talking so that everyone thinks like he's just going to the restroom. Like I already feel like I already know his actions to a T. I feel like I already know his game plan before he even acts on it, because like unfortunately I just knew how men like him operated. Sure enough, he opens the door and he's like, oh, hey. And I'm like, close it. And he's like, what'd you say? I can't hear you. Supposedly because it's so loud out there. So he makes his way in, closes the door behind him, and he's like, I was wondering where you've been. Like he's trying to come across super friendly. Like I feel like he was doing way too much with the what? Huh? I can't hear you, like that. Okay. And like I feel like I'm getting paralyzed on the bed because I'm like, oh my God, like no way. And I'm telling you, like it is loud. So I feel like even if I were to scream, no one's gonna hear because it is so loud. There's a lot of people in the house. Everyone is having a good time. And I am just feeling like, okay, I made him feel stupid. What if something happens? Something is going to happen. And so he is like getting closer and closer. And I'm like, you need to get out. Tommy's gonna be coming back. He's like, no, she's not. She just made a run real quick. Everything in me was like, I was like, oh, I felt like I couldn't move around because I feel like every time like I moved, everything was just like spinning. And I was like, no, she just told me she's on her way. He's like, no, she didn't. Let me see. And he's like making his way closer. And I'm like, no, like she did. She did. I'm like literally scared because I'm like, oh, this is it. This is what's gonna happen. Like, I just know it's about to go down. And in a way, I felt like it was my fault because I made him feel stupid and I knew he liked me and I should have just stayed away. So he continues to get closer and he keeps trying to make like small talk of, oh, you need to control how much you drink. Like, you were just throwing them back and that's crazy. Like, I never let my girlfriend do that. And I'm like, well, yeah, next time. And I'm like trying to keep the conversation at like, okay, get out, you know, that sort of thing. He keeps saying, if you were my girl. And I just keep telling him like, yeah, too bad I have a boyfriend and you have your girlfriend. Like, I feel like I am trying to talk him down. Like, I'm trying to remind him of like, yep, you have a girlfriend, I have a boyfriend, oh well, and I'm a lot younger than you, oh well, you know, that sort of thing. But it's not working. He's like, oh yeah, about that, I just made that up that I have a girlfriend because I feel like when girls know that you have a girlfriend, they tend to like you more, but that didn't work with you. And I'm like, yup, well, thing is, I didn't lie to you about my boyfriend. I do have a boyfriend. And he's like, are you sure? Because Tommy kept telling us all night that you didn't. And I'm like, no, she's just being funny because she doesn't like him. That's why she did it. And he's like, are you sure? Are you lying to me? And now he's sitting at the edge of the bed. And I'm like, yep, I'm sure. Nope, I'm not lying to you. And I'm trying my hardest not to have like a little attitude. I don't want to upset him because I've been in situations like this before where it's like, oh, okay, you think you're funny? Let me show you what funny is. And it's gone left. He's like making his way closer and closer, like scooting little by little. He asks me a question, scoots closer. Asks me another question, scoots closer. And he's just like so intoxicated. You could just see it on his face. Like, he is just gone. Like, his eyes are just glazed over. He really thinks that he's saying something, but he's saying nothing. He really thinks that he's something, but he's really not. Like, and I'm just like having to be like, okay, well, yeah, you should go now because Tommy doesn't like anyone in her room. And he is like I told you, she went to go make a run and that's gonna be about like this many minutes. Like, it takes like 10 minutes to get there, 10 minutes back. That's like 20 minutes me and you got. And I'm like thinking in my head like, oh my god, this dude is so calculated. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy. So I'm like, well, I have a boyfriend and I don't really feel good. And he's like, I'm just trying to talk to you. Like, I don't know why, like, you're being so mean. Like, I'm just trying to talk to you. Everything is just like, don't. I was like, no, like, I get, like, you're just trying to talk to me. He's like, now that's hurting my feelings. And he's scooting closer. So just imagine the boogeyman. You're on your bed. You feel paralyzed. The door. So this is the bed. Okay. I'm right here. So by the time I jump and run, he can just snag me. So I'm like trying to like play stupid and like talk to him in a very like calm voice because I feel like it can go 0 to 100 and he can overpower me. He is a lot bigger than me. He's a big boy. And I'm just like sitting there and I'm like and I'm pretty sure he can see it all in my face. Like, I'm scared because he just keeps looking at me and he just keeps like smiling at me. I'm just like, okay. Like, I'm like scared. And I'm like, you know how old I am, right? Like, I keep telling him and he's like, yeah, I know. He's like, you're a baby. And I'm like, okay. Like, because I want him to know, like, hey, this isn't okay. Like, I'm saying, like, got a boyfriend. This is Tommy's room. My age. This is inappropriate. No. He keeps scooting closer and closer and closer. I'm like about to cry. And I'm like telling myself, like, okay, be prepared. You already know how this goes. You just play along until it's done. And it sucks that you have to have conversations with yourself like this sometimes because unfortunately there is men who are really disgusting and women. I tried one last time. I'm like, you can't be in here. Like, Tommy's gonna come back any minute now. Like, it's been, you know, quite some time. And he's like, no, she's not. He screams loud. Like, really loud. Do you think anyone came? No. So when he did that, I like just sank even more into the freaking bed. I was like, oh, okay. He gets closer and hovers over me because I'm laying down. He's on top of me now. And he goes in for a kiss. Now, when I tell you that is the nastiest kiss I ever received, I take that back. He's like number 3. He tasted like corn nuts, okay? He tries to like move on top of me, but I put my hand on his chest and I just continue to like kiss him because I don't want it to lead anywhere else. And I'm just trying to stay in that moment, just right there. He's smiling. I could just feel his saliva everywhere. It was gross. It was like he had too much teeth in his mouth. It was disgusting. It was honestly disgusting. I remember kissing another person. He tasted more like peanuts. Like, I don't know how to like, just peanuts. You know when you're chewing on peanuts and then you inhale through your nose, like you're breathing and eating, like you can smell like nutty taste. Yeah, that's how the other guy smelled. I remember thinking like, he would tell me like, oh, it's because I smoke and that's why. It was disgusting. Hated kissing him. Like, it was so gross. Anyways, back to Bobby. Have him right there and he has a nerve to be like slobbering at the mouth and goes, you like that, huh? I just remember looking into his little dark beady ass eyes and saying, yeah. And I just felt so dead. What is wrong with you, you sick son of a bitch? And he screams in my face, Tommy, like really scary. And I'm like, he's like, see, she's not coming. He goes in for another one. This whole time we are just locked eyes. Like, I'm just staring into his soul. He is just staring into mine. Nasty ass tongue, dude. And I'm just like disgusted. Like, spit is literally coming down. Feels like it goes on forever. And I feel my phone vibrate and I move him and he just holds me there. And that's like the first time like he like showed like his strength. I didn't think you were that strong. Okay, buddy. I tried to like keep him just there, like not moving. He keeps trying to keep putting my hand, like he is like trying, but I am like so scared because I'm like, I don't want it to lead to something else. I try to tell him when I'm like trying to catch my breath from his funky ass corn nut mouth, can we take it slow? And he starts laughing, says, why? I like to live in the now. My heart is like beating because I'm like, no, this is not how it's supposed to go. Why did you want to drink another night? Like, why? Like, what is wrong with you? My heart is just like beating and I'm like, well, I want to take it slow. He kind of like forces himself a little bit more on me and he's like, I don't want to. This whole time that you're thinking that we're talking and it's like, just like, but no, he's like talking and like foaming out of his mouth. Like he cannot control himself. My knee is literally on his junk. He is rubbing himself super, super hard. Finally, Sugar and Spice come like crazy, okay? Like, we're back! And they just freeze. And Sugar screams, what the f are you doing? And I go into the corner. I'm like in the corner and I'm like, get him out, get him out, get him out. Spice gets to me and she's like, are you okay? Spice is usually the one to pop off, right? But I feel like she went into like mom mode and Sugar was like, so she like looks at him, she looks down and she's like, what the f? So she's like screaming at him and I'm like, I knew it. They start screaming, okay? They start screaming. They get the attention of everyone who is in the living room, okay? So everyone starts to come into the living room. Bobby is like, chill, like nothing happened. Like, I just spilled my drink, like chill. I was just checking on her. Like, he is just like super, like all the drunkenness just fleshed out his body. Like, he sweated that out his soul. He was like super freaked out. He's like, tell them. I was like, no, I told you to leave. Like, I did not want to. And he's like, but you kissed me back. And I was like, yeah, out of fear. Like, I did not want you on me. Like, you. So one of like the big guys that Tommy has there to pretty much like keep everyone like in line, he starts making his way through like the crowd. And like he's like, so imagine this is like everyone's head that's like in the thing, okay? He is like big top dog that you can see him like walking through the crowd. He literally reaches through and grabs Bobby by his collar and just like yanks him, okay? And now I have other girls like, are you okay, Mija? Are you okay? Like, what's going on? Like, are you fine? Like, my pants were unbuckled, checking me, and I'm just like, kind of just like froze in time. And I'm just like, kind of just like, if they wouldn't have came through the door, then like how long freaking out. And I just wanted Tommy. Like, I just wanted Tommy. One of the girls goes and gets a rag and they are cleaning me up and they are just like crying. There's parts I didn't mention But it was very traumatic for the girls and the women that came in the room to help clean me up. Crying. Like, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Sugar describes it as like, I just look like a little baby, and that she felt really bad because they took longer than they needed. Also, it's no one's fault but Bobby's, period. I don't blame anyone else. And someone said that they kept screaming, Tommy, Tommy, but that they thought like I was just being like annoying and stuff. And I was like, no, that was Bobby. Bobby was screaming, Tommy, Tommy, to let me know, like, you see, she's not here. And Sugar just like looked at me and was just like, I am so sorry. I wasn't taking everything in like right away. We can kind of hear what's going on outside because now they took Bobby outside and Bobby is just saying pretty much, she came on to me. She came on to me. And one of the guys was like, no, she's a baby, bro. She's a baby. Then other stuff happened and I don't remember. Tommy does come home and she is like pissed. She's pissed. Her face is red. She is just like super mad. She should have told me, or she should have took me with her, but that she didn't want anyone to pull her over and then have a minor in the car that's already drunk, and that she's just so sorry that this is on her, that she's gonna take care of it, and that she is so sorry. I guess everyone kept telling her that like I was screaming her name, but it was Bobby. And I didn't want to lie and be like, yes, I was screaming your name. I didn't want to put that on her because it's like, that's not, he was screaming your name. He was screaming your name. I should have been like, all right, let me try, huh? And scream her name too, huh? That she is so sorry, because this isn't the first time that something like this has happened in Tommy's home. But like, I didn't want her to feel bad. I was like, it's fine. She's like, it's not fine. Like screaming in my face and just like hugging me. And Sugar starts telling her about like the spit I had on my face, and she is just like in tears. It was very traumatizing and they were very traumatized as well. I think the reason why it's a little bit easier for me to talk about this incident is because I felt like something was done in the moment. I feel like there wasn't any excuses for Bobby. I feel like no one let him get away with saying, oh, she came on to me or she wanted it. They like nipped it in the butt. I do still have nightmares about it. I still cry about, you know, what happened to little Lex. But I feel like in a way, I feel like I got justice and I was heard in that moment. And I wasn't gaslit into like, what? Are you sure? It's wrong. And it was taken care of. You know what I mean? I ended up knocking out, I think just like all the adrenaline, everything going on. I just like was just too tired. I was just like, that was a lot. That was a lot. So I remember waking up and Sugar, Spice are at my feet and Tommy's like right next to me. I feel like I'm just kind of just like numb, and I'm not really used to people having like a reaction to me being hurt or anything like that. It's just kind of like a whatever. I get out of the shower and Sugar and Spice are right there. So I just reassure them like, yes, I'm fine. They keep hugging me here and there. You could just totally tell that they felt really bad for what had happened. We're just checking on me extra. I didn't want to make them feel bad or anything, or in a way like milk the situation. Like I didn't want them to feel guilty or have that on their conscience, because they kept apologizing of, I'm so sorry. I don't know why it took longer. I am so sorry. And I just kept telling them like, it's okay. And they're like, it's not okay. I was so confused. Like, okay, well, what do I say then? Tommy ends up waking up and she's checking on me too, telling me that if I'm okay. She keeps like looking at me throughout the day, like just looking at me. She was scared that I was just going to break and it was gonna be all her fault. Felt really bad because I was so excited and I was like, yeah, like let's do it again. And I'm usually like super anal, and she just felt really bad. I didn't want to sit there and like make her feel bad about something that was not her fault. A couple of days passed by. The days were just really long and we were just chilling at home. My mom was gonna be in jail a little bit longer because she was acting up in jail, fighting. The judge wasn't gonna give her a slap on the wrist anymore. He was like, you're not learning. So he was gonna keep her in there for a while. Time is going by. Mr. Peach finally tells me that I can go over and that they are going to have a little barbecue and that I'm more than welcome to go over and join them. So I'm like, okay, great. So I asked Tommy if she could drop me off. Yeah, but that she's gonna pick me up later, that I'm not gonna spend the night. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I felt like she was starting to look at me with like pity in her eyes, because of the situation, and I was just trying to go back to like normal because I didn't like the pity feeling. The time comes around, I go over to the Peaches, and Sam and I are just like so happy to see each other. You would think like we were like besties, and it was such a good time. I see the babies, Voldemort is there, and she kind of just like looks at me up and down and like, Mrs. Peach is there. She's telling me like, oh, you look really good, you look really nice, and like being like somewhat like sweet to me. We have a great time. It's a good time. I feel like it was fun. Call me the Midnight Baba. I don't know why that's stuck in my brain lately. So when I'm over there, we are literally just having a good time. I feel like everything just went back to normal. We were like laughing, BSing with each other. Mrs. Peach was like, okay, so when you gonna come back? Like she just went right back into like just being like normal again. Mr. Peach too is asking like how everything is. I'm very honest with them when it came to my mom about how she is going to be incarcerated for a while, and that I'm pretty much can just babysit whenever I'm staying with my aunt, and just to let me know so that I can stay busy too. Mrs. Peach was like, te dije por gratis. Like you said it for free, because I did tell them like, can I come back like even for free? And I felt weird being like, no, like I just said that, you know. I was like, yeah, like even, you know, for free, that's fine. Mr. Peach was like, no, we're just playing with you. Mrs. Peach is like, yo no, like saying not me, not me. And it kind of just stays kind of quiet, but I'm like, okay, well, yeah, like if you just need me to come over for a little bit just to help out, like I can, like está bien, like it's fine. Mr. Peach tells me that like, yes, they missed me and the kids miss me. Mrs. Peach lets me know like they missed you, not me, like trying to be funny, but I feel like her humor is just, it never hits like how she thinks it does, you know? So I'm just like, okay. They ask me what's my plans for this weekend. I tell them nothing. I don't have anything. They say, okay, great. Because they're going to be taking just a little trip, just like an hour or two away, that if I wanted to go, that I can. But if I can't, está bien, that they already have someone who's going to come to watch the kids. But extra help, the better. Because they're kind of scared of just depending on me, because just how I left them. And it was so inconvenient. They didn't know what to do. So dramatic, I feel. Or I'm just like, y'all swear that Voldemort didn't step in. Like, y'all swear. But I'm like, okay. So I just keep apologizing. Mrs. Peach is like, no, like I want you to understand like how frustrating that was. Like I was up all night, like you don't understand, like I was worried, and you just don't think about other people's feelings. And I'm like, it was out of my control, but I get it. And they're like, I don't think you do, and just like kind of wanted me just to like keep apologizing. And I was like, okay, like I'm sorry. No, I don't think you really are. And I'm just like, but I am. No, I don't think you. And yeah, is it frustrating? Yes, but I'd rather deal with that frustrating than have to be anywhere else, honestly. I was just like, okay. Mr. Peach asks me if I want to ride or if I'm gonna get picked up, and I text Tommy. I'm like, do you want me to get picked up or do you want me to them to take me? She tells me if I could stay there a little bit longer because she doesn't want me at the house by myself at all anymore. If I need to get picked up like right now, then that's fine. So I tell them, they're like, oh yeah, it's fine. So I ended up staying there for a few more hours and just helped clean. Literally just went back into like the normal routine. Like this whole time I kept thinking like, oh my God, it's gonna be so awkward. But literally I went right back into the routine. Like it was like super whatever, you know. The only thing different though is that Mr. Peach went to his studio so that he can work. Now when I asked Sam, she's like, you know damn well where he's going. And I'm like, that's crazy. So they just started linking up again. She's like, and that Mrs. Peach wasn't gonna argue and fight about it anymore, that she's just tired. I'm like, that is wild. So I try to get the cheese man with Sam. What's going on? Her and Joe are talking again. She asks me if I'm gonna like feel weird about it. I'm like, dude, I don't even care. Like you can just, that's like not even, like I don't even care. Like so much crap has happened that like I honestly don't care what you and him do. Low-key I kind of was like, oh my God, this is so weird. Just because the whole situation, feelings, all of that, it's just, I hate how I cared so much that I wanted to be like other people who are just like, whatever, it's not a big date, it's not a it's not a biggie, ugh, gross. I wanted to be like that. I wanted to embody that so bad. And it was like written on my face. She's like, I know you care, you could tell you're hurt. And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's just, there's been a lot going on. I mean, you know, my mom not being here like that, but like it has nothing to do. Like I was trying so hard to act like it was not a big deal. And I tried to kind of ask her about like what happened to the other guy. And she was like, he's still there, but like Joe just has my heart, you know? And I'm just like, sure. So I asked Tommy if she's close, if she's gonna be getting me. She says that she's still kind of far out, that I should have really planned this of not being over there that long. Like I was over there for a long time, so like I know she was just pissed and she was just saying whatever, but I'm like, dude, no, like you're crazy. You can't just be like, oh, can I stay the first night, you know, that kind of thing. Like so I asked her if anyone's at the house and she's like, no one's there. I'm like, okay, can I just have them drop me off and I'll just chill in the house and I'll make sure no one gets in. And she's like, I just don't feel comfortable you being there by yourself anymore. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, I'm not gonna let anyone in. I don't have Mr. Peach take me. I have the ex take me, because I felt this overwhelming emotion of guilt of what happened with Bobby. Even though it was not my fault, I had this overwhelming emotion of guilt of like me doing something wrong. And it wasn't my fault. So I was like, I need to talk to him about it. I need to let him know what happened. This wasn't okay. And I don't want him to hear about it from anybody else but me. So me and him talk for a little bit. And I tell him like, can we hang out? Because Tommy's gonna be gone for a while. I don't know where the hell homegirl went, but she was busy. So I asked him like, can we hang out for a little bit? He's like, I don't want her starting any drama. I'm like, she won't. I already talked to her. And I had a feeling Tommy wasn't gonna do anything about him, because she was feeling extremely guilty. I don't think she was going to do anything. And plus, how is she gonna know he's the one who gave me the ride if she's not gonna be there for a while? You know what I'm saying? So I tell him like, it's fine. He comes, he picks me up. I was so infuriated because when he came and picked me up, I told Sam, okay, bye. And she's like, no, I'll walk you out. I was like, no, bye. Because I didn't want her to see who was picking me up. And of course, she runs to the freaking car and she's like, oh my God, hi, it's so good to see you. And he was like, oh yeah, hey. Ooh, it like lit a fire under my ass. And it's not even like, oh, because I was like jealous or anything like that. It was just like, y'all have no freaking shame. I could not do this to somebody else. Like, why? So that automatically puts me in a crappy mood. And I kept fighting with myself. Like, why should I even tell him what happened? Like, he doesn't care about my feelings. He does not care about my feelings. So why am I over here like, oh, I need to tell him. Who gives a about his feelings? So I'm like literally fighting, and he's like, so you wanted to talk? I kind of just tell him like, I don't even know if I want to talk anymore. Like, I don't even know why you even have to acknowledge her. He starts going off about like, oh my God, that's just so rude to just like ignore somebody, and she came to him, that it wasn't like he went out of his way, yada yada yada. I swear, men that I hate a man with no backbone. Like, I hate it. Like, you have no self-control to like roll up your window and just like leave it rolled up, or be like, make a bitch feel stupid. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. I hate stupid excuses that men give, like, oh well, I can't do that, like only guys can do that, only girls can do that. It's weird when a guy does it. Like, shut the fuck up, you crusty dusty musty bitch. Shut up. You is a liar. You're a lie. You know what I'm saying? So we get close to Tommy's house, and I eventually work up the courage to tell him, even though I didn't need to tell him. I start to like feel uncomfortable, and I'm like kind of like getting emotional about it, because the situation was extremely scary and I wish it didn't happen. He automatically is like, it's your fault. It's your fault. You must have done something. You must have been flirting with him for him to feel so comfortable. It's your fault. I don't care what you say. I can't believe you did this to me. Me. And I'm just like, what? I didn't even have to tell you. I felt like I had to, and I felt like guilty. And he's like, yeah, because you did something wrong. And so we're just like arguing. And this whole time I'm just like, what? Why don't you learn, Jade? Why don't you learn? Like, he is never going to be poopy. Ever. Like, why can't you just let him go? Like, I was so mad. He literally kicks me out of the car and just takes off, and I am just like, I feel so freaking dumb. Why did you waste your time? Writes me a novel of like, I don't think we should be together. I need a break. We need to break up, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there like, why did you even say anything? Like, why did you say anything? He can't believe I betrayed him. All kinds of stupid. And I'm like, I did not betray you. Betraying you, I would have never told you, but I told you. He's just like super, oh, I can't believe this happened to me. It happened to me, okay? A mutual that me and him have reaches out to me and asks me if I'm okay because he went to go cry on her titties about what happened to me. And she pretty much checked him and was like, why the f are you crying when that happened to your girlfriend? Like, it wasn't you who is traumatized, it's her. So him crying on her tatas did not work in his favor. She ended up reaching out to me and was like, your boyfriend's a creep, are you good? Super nice to me. And I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry, that's so embarrassing. She's like, you need to drop him. Like, he is such a loser. I don't know what he thought he was doing, but with that, you need to drop him. It was so embarrassing that he went over there acting like that and he got turned down. Like, how the hell are you gonna be hollering at other people and then to get turned down like that? It's so embarrassing. Like, she literally was like, I do not want your problem, girl. So the next day rolls around and I'm literally like messaging the ex if he's okay. I can see how this can come to like a shock to him about the situation because I gave him details. I literally told him everything. So I was like making sure that he was good, that he was gonna be okay, that he was going to survive, and that I was willing to forgive him for reaching out to homegirl. I wasn't mad, and I just regret telling him because it felt like after that, anytime chores were being done, it was like pain was trying to be inflicted because of how pissed off he was. And I thought, okay, I'm doing something good by telling him because that's what good girlfriends do. But it had nothing to do with that. Even if my intentions were pure, he wasn't mature enough. Later that day, Tommy takes me to go see my mom. And I don't tell her about the situation because things have been told to her before about situations. She told me, I just can't believe that so much bad happens to you, especially with men. And that just made me feel so nasty. What? Why would you say that to me, Mom? And it made me feel bad. It made me feel like, what did I do to attract men like that? And why they acted like that with me? Why did they feel so comfortable doing that to me? Like, why, out of everybody else in the room, why me? And it made me feel like I didn't understand. It's not like if I put on makeup, it's not even, I'm not saying these are the reasons why other people get hurt is because they wear makeup or they look really nice. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm saying, like, in my brain, I kept thinking, like, what am I doing wrong? I don't have anywhere like to live and stuff. I'm pretty much like an orphan. I look like a boy. I don't care what anybody says. I look like a little boy. My hair doesn't look the best. I don't put on makeup. I don't have the nicest clothes. Like, why me out of all the ones who look pretty and pearly and cute and are well put together? Why me? Why not the ones that are literally trying to like hook up? Why don't they go for those ones? Like, why me? And I wish my mom never would have put that in my head. I wish she never would have been like, why you? Like, I don't understand. I don't know. Like, my grandma even made like the stupid comment of like, you're no Marilyn Monroe. Like, I don't understand. Why you? I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why they would say something so nasty and then be pissed off when I didn't share things like this with them. And be like, I wish you would have told me. Why would I tell you? Don't ever make someone make you feel like you can't share your story because something horrible has happened to you more than once, twice, or 3 times. It doesn't matter how they feel. Speak on how you feel. Don't put that thought into your head of like, oh, well, like, who is gonna believe me? This has happened to me time. So what? So what? These predators love those excuses of other people putting that in your head. They love that. They feed on that. They are like, yes. Anyways, I didn't tell my mom about the situation. She tells me she's gonna be in there a lot longer than she thought. My grandma had called in and told them that my mom had taken stuff from No Name, and so there was no evidence of it. But I was like, damn, my grandma really going hard for this piece. So once I got that information, oof, I was calling my grandma, I was calling her two-faced, I was going off on her. She was screaming at me and I could feel like her blood pressure rising. And I was like, how could you do that? And for who? And for who? I was so livid because like, why is she going so hard for him? It's not like if it was because she had my brothers. It's not like if she was still over there. Like, why are you over here inserting yourself, taking it upon yourself to call and be like, yeah, keep her in there, blah, 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 because she probably did this. Why are you doing all that? Even though, like, my mom probably, like I get it. She probably wanted my mom to be in there because she knows that she's safe, all that. But, like, why? Like, it's just the way. It's the way of, like, what she chose to use for it to work in her favor for my mom to be in there longer. Like, why defend him? Why defend him? So, like, I'm in this, like, really crappy mood and I'm just like fuming at everybody and I'm like telling Tommy like, why? Like, that is some dirty, grimy ass. Like, it really is. Like, I don't understand how everyone's so quick to like cover for him, or like, I just don't understand it. She says I don't need to understand it, just to keep it cute and respectful when it comes to my grandma. I was like, nope. I was calling my stepdad. I was telling him off like, you are a coward. You are a coward. Like, what are you crying over? What are you crying over? He was crying over some clothes and he was crying over some like pool stuff. He was crying over some cologne. That's what you're crying about? I'm over here thinking that she took something. I'm thinking she's taking a little pew pew. I thought she took something that was worth of value, you crybaby bitch. I was so fucking livid. Like, that's what you're crying about? That's what you're crying about? So I was telling him like, you are pathetic. Going off on him. As I'm yelling at him, screaming at him like a little psycho, Tommy calls me to the living room. She's like, Alexis, come here. I go over there. There's two officers, and one officer goes, are you Alexis? And I'm like, yes. And I'm gonna end it there. I love you guys so much. Besos a todos. I hope you guys enjoyed today's story time. Well, not, it's kind of weird saying enjoyed because of like what I shared, but you guys know what I mean. If you guys enjoyed me sitting here chismeando with you guys, letting you guys know a little bit about my life, if you guys enjoyed that, please make sure to give me a big thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already to keep updating my videos. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.